for watching CapriCast. I'm Nat, he's Matt, and let's get started.
You may have noticed we still have that lame sauce intro. Well,
Yeah.
it's because we're waiting on some good stuff from you guys. So if you want to still keep sending them in, you can absolutely do that. We've got 2 more weeks that we've got the contest open. And remember, the winner gets their favorite shirt from the BSG swag bag.
Yay!
Awesome. So let's go into, well, of course, the previews via the Facebook
yes.
group. Oh, these sneak peeks. Again, I don't think I have nearly enough willpower to not look at
Yeah,
these
Matt's
things.
definitely seen more than I have. I just saw
Yeah.
that one crazy one that we talked about last week, but there's been a couple of other ones, like the group marriage one.
Yeah, that group marriage one for this week was, it was pretty out there. I mean, it started up just trying to give you, I think it was designed to set you off a little bit right off the top.
Which it really did. I mean, even within the context of the episode, I was like, blah,
When
what
is
that?
this gonna happen?
But it's such a minor part of it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, the big deal of that was that phone call, the e-sheet, and the GDD raid. Now, it does make you wonder who
Called Clarice in the first place and warned her.
Yeah, although it's interesting now, the school is not safe for the STO to be doing their, I guess, childhood recruiting anymore. Now, we also got to see a little bit of robot dancing,
Oh
which,
my gosh.
I don't know, a scientist and a robot girl, is this like a precursor to like a Battlestar Galactica Baltar
Yeah,
thing?
Matt was
I don't
dying
know.
when he saw it. He
It's
was
pretty
like, oh
hilarious.
gosh.
I mean, Baltar never really busted a move like that, so it was definitely impressive to see.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
I'm surprised she didn't somehow knock him out with her gigantic arms during her, like, heavy
But
dancing.
also, did you also notice how, I mean, fine, fair enough, her human dancing didn't really mirror her robot dancing?
No, she wasn't really doing the robot there.
You know, as she was sexy dancing as a human, or how we saw Zoe, I was really waiting to see the robot look like that. And
Some
I was
sexy
waiting.
Cylon dance?
Yeah! Didn't happen.
U87, just not quite sultry enough for Nat. All right, now the Greystone fight. That was pretty heavy.
Yeah,
you
it was
know,
intense.
it was a heavy sneak peek, and it really resonated in the episode. The "we're parents, no, we're not." It really sort of set them up.
It's just a slap in the face.
Yeah, and it set us up for what the Greystones were about to do. So right off, we got a GDD search of not only the school, but of the Greystones' home. And is it just me, or did the lab tech not notice the government raid above them?
So random. Didn't it just feel like there was something missing between the transition there?
Yeah.
Like, when the heck
Yeah.
did that labbie get there? And did he not notice that the GDD was raiding the entire place?
The thing, I just feel like it was edited differently than it was written, because that just didn't make any damn sense.
I mean, I know that the whole GDD thing was a big deal. Amanda was freaking out because, again, she's still mourning her daughter and just didn't want to violate basically the memory she has of her daughter.
And plus, she did say, you know, my husband does defense work, and the investigator was very specific to say we won't be going down there.
Yeah.
But by the same token, it's just a stairwell. I didn't quite get that.
Yeah,
Now
wow.
let's take this over to Baxter Sarno.
Which was really the
Wow.
big part of the story, I feel like,
that's
right?
what we've been waiting for a bit. I mean, it was really, we saw the plot begin, and now we've seen it end. This whole PR nightmare. But
Amazing. I mean, obviously, bomb to Amanda. I mean, like, she sucks for making Daniel have to put himself in this situation.
Yeah, she caused the disaster in the first
She caused it
place.
in the first place and then had the gall to be pissed at him about it.
Yeah.
And now, anyway, we're on here. Daniel seems very nervous, anxious, sickened
And
with
he's
the idea
fighting
of
off.
doing it.
He's fighting off this controversy that we really didn't even know was there. This
Right.
idea that V-World is making children have loose moral compasses. They're
yeah,
morally
I
blank.
found that fascinating,
Yeah,
actually.
that felt like it came almost out of nowhere, but I guess it was something that we've only been seeing it from Zoe's perspective. That, oh, this is what I like to do. Who cares if there's ritual sacrifice and that might be screwing me up as a human being? That was
I mean,
kind of
it kind
interesting.
of reflects, I mean, this is a much milder version, but the way that older generations look at younger generations today,
With
and the
video
way
games
video
and rock
games
music.
and text messaging and how
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
changing the way we communicate, blah, 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 blah. This is just a greater extreme,
Yeah,
apparently.
basically. Now, Daniel's coaching from Praya was crazy obvious. Again, it was great seeing Luciano in the episode.
Poor guy, though. But you know
oh.
what? The crazy part was when Amanda walked out there. Like, I just couldn't believe it. That was definitely the part when I went, oh, no, you didn't do that.
Yeah, because you're expecting that she's ruined everything
Yeah,
again.
that she's going to frack it up again.
But holy crap, she created publicity vindication, basically.
Yeah.
But
And she kind of redeemed herself as a character, I feel
now,
like.
the interesting thing here is that it looks like Greystone Industries will be losing 60% of their net profits, which means they're going to need to sell some Cylons. Greystone Industries is no longer going to be relying on consumer electronic revenue. They're going to be a military supplier.
Which is insane.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
So, we've seen this Greystone
Plot.
PR thing happen and end. What's next?
And I don't know about you, but that grandma was awesome. You know, last week we were talking about how none of the female characters were really that strong. Nothing was really engaging, reaching out there. And then all of a sudden,
Grandma
Dama, which I guess isn't really the Adama side, but the grandma is insane. She was vicious, ruthless, and tattooed.
Oh, that's great. The whole thing about Taurans having, on the right side, they have tattooed their accomplishments. On the left side, they have tattooed their failures. It's kind of interesting. You really get to see...
A little cultural element again.
Even on Grandma Dama, you get to see... You get to see her as a serious part of Tauran society, and holy, was she ever in this one.
It was really interesting. She added so much. She just fleshed out that culture even more, right?
Ruth is ruthless. I love it.
Absolutely.
And she's obviously picked her son-in-law's brother over her son-in-law as a
favorite.
favorite.
Well, because Sam just seems to be more of a...
He's a veteran gangster. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's embracing being Tauran.
He's a Tauran through and through. Whereas he explicitly says that Yusif is just a Caprican in a Tauran's body.
Absolutely. Now, Tauran society was unveiled to us a little bit more. The idea that the dead are not free until they are avenged.
Oh, such a warrior mentality.
Oh, and I loved when Ruth said to little Billy, you can get more from your enemies than you can from your friends because your enemies fear you. That was brutal. And, you know, just look what he does in Battlestar.
Well, exactly. And then, you know, when they're watching the talk show and she says, oh, I could just... choke or kill her with my own hands.
You know she's killed somebody. It's great. And with that knife,
you know she's killed
She's a murderer. It's great. Now, speaking of murderers,
Oh
when Sam was yanking Yosif's chain about ordering off the hit, was Amanda dead? The audience went on that same ride, and that was just blood-curdling because you didn't know if she was dead, and especially you just liked what she pulled off.
You know what?
She finally became a character you liked again, and she might be dead, but well played. I was really impressed with that.
Well, I was just going to say, in terms of the whole, you know, Joseph or Yusif putting on the hit, did you find that the turning point for him seemed to be when the grandma says to him, like, I could kill her with my own hands, and then he just has this, you see the thought process of him going, oh my God, what the heck am I doing? What have I done? And that's when he's panicking and telling Sam, stop doing it.
I think he's really, whenever his mother-in-law goes super Tauran, he realizes it's his Tauran side taking over. Something to that effect.
Even when she's jokingly talking about the Jax game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are they made with the fingers of the children that lose
at Jax. Oh my God.
He's like, what?
Because you can believe her. Like, I believed her. Oh, she's vicious. She's vicious. Although, the one Tauran thing that I thought was a little ridiculous, that like bobblehead bull thing that was in Sam's car.
Sam has in his car on his dashboard.
That was just like...
I mean, hilarious,
push it. Oh,
so cheese.
Hilarious. All right, so let's talk a little bit about next week.
Oh my gosh.
Preview is hardcore. Whoa.
You know what? Based on the preview, next week is really going to be the make or break for me. We see Tamara, and it's all focused on her in V-World. And there are certain parts, the one line is specifically where she just sounds like Neo. She is Neo in this world.
Yeah, what are you? Awake. And it's just like this moment where you're like, are you Neo? And then she makes cops disappear.
Yeah.
It's like she's one with the code.
I don't know.
It feels very Neo. Now, I've got to say, this is episode 4 of the regular season of Caprica. And there have been people who are like, oh, I don't know if I like Caprica so far. But you know what? I didn't like BSG until the 4th episode of the regular season. Act of Contrition is the one that really hooked me when I realized these guys know how to tell a story.
Right.
In retrospect, 33 is my favorite episode, absolutely. But it was Act of Contrition that really made me say, this is a show.
Right.
And that's what this next episode is going to be.
Yeah, I really believe it's going to make or break it. I really do. Because either this V-World plotline is going to be amazing.
And we're going to see Tamara go in a direction that's going to really open it all
flesh out
up.
her character as well, or it's going to be cheese.
So we will see. Now, we're not going to talk about the sneak peeks because they really are spoilery. We've finally come to this conclusion going into the 4th episode. No more sneak peek talk beforehand. Now, what we'll do is talk about the beginning of next week's CapriCast.
Exactly.
And remember, intros.
Yes, please.
If you have a suggestion, if you have an idea, if you have a completed visual of some kind, throw it our way. We want to see what you want to have at the beginning of the show because most of the show is just us.
Exactly. So, we want some of you guys on the show.
Absolutely. So see you guys next week. We're looking forward to seeing some Neo action out of Tamara.